still you get to see other people's media.
It's not really a profile though.
That's true. Well, I think that whole part of Facebook is going to be taken over by LinkedIn because all that stuff he talks about, how your profile and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
LinkedIn has all that stuff.
All right.
Your work bio and everything. LinkedIn is basically just like a resume.
Gotcha.
All right. And the second to last one for you today. Do you think the Ford Motor Company is worth more than General Motors or GM?
That's a hard one. I did see a sign today that said Ford is the most leading car manufacturer in America for the last 30-some years.
Mm-hmm.
I did see that. Well, that's just America, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, Ford and Chevy sold in Japan, right?
I think so.
Okay.
I think they're also sold in Europe too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they have other companies. I think Ford goes by itself in Europe. I know in England they do. But GM doesn't go by Chevy over there. I think they own Daewoo, which is pretty much like a
Japanese,
it's a foreign brand. They'll sell Chevy Cruises over there, but they'll be named Daewoo Cruise.
right. Trying to
But I don't think the Chevy brand's sold over there. You can't get a car that has the Chevy badge on it.
right,
But you'll have a Daewoo, which is owned by GM.
right.
Is it the GM or just GM?
GM.
Okay.
Is it kind of like how Lincoln is not owned by Lincoln, they're owned by another car company and all this other stuff? Saturn is owned by GM, I think.
Not anymore, but yes.
Oh, they're their own thing now?
Saturn was bought by a Chinese company.
Oh, really?
I think Hummer too.
Oh, they stopped making Hummers though, didn't they?
Yeah, I heard they stopped making Hummers.
Yeah,
That
quite
was-
a while ago.
That was 2008, 2009.
They haven't made one since, right? All right. Just
You don't see them on commercials, do you?
No.
Like Fiat.
But they weren't fuel efficient whatsoever.
Yeah,
Hell
they,
no.
they were the definition of not being fuel efficient.
Yeah, they were the most toxic car, weren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. My mom had an H3 Hummer for a minute. The small ones.
How was it inside a Hummer? I've never been inside one.
What's that?
I've never been inside a Hummer. How was it?
It's actually kind of small. It's not
Oh, I thought it'd be really luxurious.
Yeah.
It's not really. It feels like you're in a army vehicle in a sense. It's really boxy and
Like a Jeep?
kind of like a Cadillac Jeep type thing.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, I should ask you guys a car question after this
all right.
game. But, so what do you think, though? You think, Ford and GM both sell overseas.
Yeah,
They
exactly.
both have sports cars. They both have 2 sports cars each.
They're equal, right? Pretty much.
I wouldn't say
I know you're more of a Chevy
equal,
person.
one performs exactly like the other, but
I'd have to say Ford would be more.
Ford is
Ford is worth more than GM.
worth more.
I'm just gonna go with GM.
Well, GM? Okay. Ford, it's actually less than GM.
All right.
Well, you gotta think about it. Ford only has Ford, Lincoln, and Mercury. There's only 3 brands under that Ford name.
Uh-huh.
GM has GMC, Chevy, Cadillac, Buick, and one other I can't think of right now. Buick, GMC, Chevy, Cadillac. Are they only 4? Maybe I'm thinking Pontiac, but they've been out for a while.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Plus, you don't really see that many Mercuries on the road.
No, you don't.
In my observations. But Ford Motor Company is worth $11.12 a share.
That's not too bad.
That's pretty bad. Compared to GM is $34.23 a share. And Chrysler, they're under $10.
Oh wow.
But I would not buy a Chrysler product.
Why is that?
They're shitty. But okay, so last one. And the first company I'm going to name to you is you probably never even heard of. Do you think Dry Ships is more than Amazon?
I think Amazon's probably more than that. I mean, maybe.
Do you
maybe
know
it's a
what
trick
Dry
question.
Ships is?
No, I have no idea.
Dry Ships is a international cargo hauling company.
I'm gonna go with that one.
I stay Amazon still.
Amazon.
Yeah.
All right. Dry Ships
It's worth more than Amazon.
is worth less than Amazon.
Oh, really? So I got that right? Jack, your streak comes to an end.
As of that time, Dry Ships was worth $184 a share. They've gone down. And Amazon, I'm sure you've probably heard it in the news.
Uh-huh.
One share is $1,013.48.
Wow.
And you know what's a fun fact? I looked up Dry Ships like highest peak in price for one chair, and it was over 20 million.
For Dry Ships?
They've crashed over the years.
Hard, huh?
Yeah. And nobody thinks they'll come back from it. So. Can you imagine if you bought it for like $1.84 and then it goes up to like $20 million a share and you bought 100 shares? That's 20 million times 100, $2 billion.
So you'd be making that much off of it?
Yeah. Well, you'd be making 2 billion minus 20 million.
You gonna do it?
No, I don't trust. Experts say they won't come back. But back to that question I said in the middle of that thing. Do you think Jeep Grand Cherokees are overrated?
Yes.
Jack?
Yeah, I think they're overrated.
Do you think Chrysler 300s are overrated?
No.
No.
And last one, do you think Dodge Rams or the Ram trucks are overrated?
Yeah, kinda, but I love them.
No, they're not overrated.
Okay. I would say yes to all those questions.
Like, what did I say yes to all of them? I think so. But, you think
That's
Dodge
one of
trucks
them.
are overrated? I'd get a Dodge truck personally.
They have not changed their style, and it'll be almost a decade,
Yeah.
which is kind of like...
So you do think Jeep Grand Cherokee is overrated?
I actually like the look of Grand Cherokees, but my dad says the Jeep has problems too, just like Chrysler and Dodge. But yeah, I just want to ask you guys that question.
All right.
So,
Well, thank you, Scott. That was a great game. I like it.
and we'll come back in about a month
Yeah.
with that game.
See who's winning and who's losing.
Yeah.
Did you like that game?
Yeah, it was fun.
Really fun, huh?
You had fun?
I had lots of fun.
So much fun.
Right.
Okay. That means we'll never do it again.
No, I'm serious.
So I was listening to NPR today, and they were talking about how gays were able to hang their own flag outside City Hall to fly in the air. You know, the rainbow flag?
Yeah.
Yeah. How do you feel about that?
Okay. As long as it's not the
Look,
Confederacy flag,
I
which
love,
has been
like,
dead.
I support gay rights 110%, but I think it's a little ridiculous. Why can't one flag be enough for all? Like the American flag. That should represent everybody, right? Gay or straight? Why need a flag to represent your sexuality?
Well,
That's a good point.
you don't agree with like the rainbow flag representing gays, or do you
I just don't agree with it being hung next to the American flag, because I mean everybody's American, right? I mean
Yeah, well, like they flew the American flag and the gay flag, right?
yeah,
Okay, was the American flag on top?
yeah.
Like it was a one pole, and then the American flag was on top, and then the rainbow was.
Yeah,
on
it
the
was
bottom?
just like like how you in front of like Capitol buildings or anything like government related or
Well,
big corporate buildings.
Did you?
They have like multiple flags. Like they have a Michigan flag and they have the state flag.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was kind of hung in a bundle of flags like that. The way they were describing on the radio,
Okay.
it had its own pole.
Well,
So there's always like the one really big pole that has the American flag, right? And
Yeah.
then there's the other two to the side that are smaller poles, and they have like either the Michigan flag.
I think gay rights was flown on one of those too.
Okay, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
I don't really see a problem with it. You know, if you're gay, that's probably really inspiring. You're like, oh man, I feel great. I feel like I'm accepted in this community.
Well, I mean, you gotta understand. I would probably guess that that flag has history because like gay people were such scrutinized since the 40s on, and when they had to fight to have same-sex marriage go to Supreme Court and they ruled in favor of same-sex, it doesn't violate the Constitution. So I mean, like I would guess during that time it would be like a symbol for like we're fighting still to have marriage rights, to recognize our marriage for same-sex.
So that's the reason the
Yeah.
flag is hung. You think?
Yeah,
All right.
I don't mind
know,
it being flown, because it shows.
I don't mind it being flown. It's just I feel like United We Stand Divided We Fall. In a sense, I feel like it's just meant for gay people when the state flag and the American flag are hung up for everybody. Does that make sense? Everybody's
But
American.
how do you? You probably already explained it, but how do you interpret? Like, you probably did, and I probably didn't understand.
Okay.
I was going
ahead.
to say, like, how do you interpret the rainbow flag that's underneath or right next to the American flag? Like, are you saying like when you see that, do you feel like, oh, all Americans are gay because they fly that, or like
No, not at all.
the country supports same-sex marriage and gay people?
Yeah, I mean, like I'm all for it,
Right. Yeah, I understand.
and I don't mind like people representing it. It's just I feel like when it's hung next to the American flag, I mean America. I mean it's legal for gay marriage in America now, so why can't the American flag just be enough? I mean you're part of America. Like why divide it up? Like can I have my own flag for being straight? I don't see one hung up for me.
Well, and then what else I was going to say, like, you know, they've been fighting to have same-sex marriage.
Right. I know
There's still
I never looked at it
opposition
that way,
to
though.
it.
Yeah,
That's a whole different way.
Yeah, people still don't agree with it, like
Yeah.
our vice president.
And like, if it's in
Right.
front of a company, like, you would love to have that next to the American flag because that company shows to other people like they're
Like,
open.
We're fine with gay people.
We're fine.
Yeah.
They don't oppose like
Okay.
most Republicans.
Well, you changed my view on it.
Yeah, I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah.
Like,
I didn't look at it that way.
it's ideally like you want the country unified on one thing. Like, we accept gay people, we don't
Right.
discriminate, but we don't live in an ideal country, sadly.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's how I take it. Like, you know, that's a good topic, though.
Yeah. I thought so. Also wanted to address that. Scott, today is 1 year ago today. Well, this episode is 1 year ago that we did our graduation speeches and our Harambe helicopter bit. Do you remember that? All
Yes.
returns.
Yes.
Our most viewed episode with almost 500 views on it now.
Yeah,
Which is insane for us.
Yep.
Our ratings are picking back up again too, and I gotta tell everybody that just because we don't have people commenting on the show live as much as we'd like, throughout the week people do listen.
Wow.
Yeah.
What's that one episode a couple weeks ago that we did, Jack the Genie? How many views does that have now? Did you say?
Last time I saw it was 107.
Yeah.
Damn, 107?
Yeah. See, we're getting people. So it's the live views, not so much, but we're working on it.
How much would a view like a John co-host show get?
I
Not
did
much.
the average. I updated the average on that.
Yeah.
We only defer by 3 now, but it's only going to go up.
So that's just the average of how many shows now? Is it 5 shows?
My first 4 versus his last 4.
Okay.
We only defer by 3 now.
Not bad. Not bad.
It's not.
Good job, Scott. You're bringing in the ratings. I think it's your news that's saving it.
Maybe.
I think
Jack
it's-
the Genie, he saved it too. Had a lot of views on it. Genie brought the views in that night.
Yeah, Genie brings the views.
Yep. Alright, guys. So, I did bring up the topic. We did the graduation speeches over a year ago. And that was one of my most favoriteest and most memorable episodes we've done on this show's history. One of them. I have lots of favorite moments, but that's one of them that I like. So, I decided to go over graduation speeches again this year.
Where are you speaking at?
Well, I was going to... Because last year my topic was celebrities that were asked to speak at graduation commencements to major universities.
Yeah.
Do you know who Pharrell